Alright, hello, and welcome to Devstream Breakdown 79. Or, well, rather, this is the breakdown for Devstream 79. I haven't been doing it since 1. Today we did not get a whole lot of information because the fucking update dropped. We got Silver Grove today, and if you are seeing this maybe like, I don't know, like an hour after it has been released, I'm probably streaming right now. Gonna be doing the Silver Grove, testing out the new fusion system, testing out the new everything. I have Titania, like, all that stuff is going to be looked at, the new operator cosmetics, all that shit. Expect all of that on the stream, but let's just go over what we know now from the dev stream. So, for Necros Prime, we're going to be getting the access pack and all of the parts into the Void on the 23rd. The cinematic is going to coincide with that, provided it gets done, but they said it was kind of a hard deadline for them. So we will have the Necro cinematic, which I'm very excited for, which is going to be awesome. I'm very excited for Necros Prime. I'm curious to see what will end up from the stats of all those weapons. It should be very interesting. Beyond that, we got a little bit of news on the treasure system, and this coincides with like the big endo change that just went out, and all of the improvements slash possible downgrades. Still needs testing by me, of course. But this is the second part of that system that should make things a little more interesting. So, the treasure system. So treasures are going to be able to be used as cosmetics for your ships. They're burnable into like endo, and the more you have complete of them, they have parts to them. The more like parts you have together, they'll be worth increasingly more endo. So they're going to be very, very valuable. They will be tradable, and it should be a good system. I think it'll be a way for us to kind of spread out more and maybe have like more pointed goals to different nodes to like get pieces of things, and it should be really cool. Personally, as someone who has a lot of the mods done, I just want the cosmetics because I imagine they're gonna look pretty fucking cool. So I want to put a completed one of those or one or two of those just around in my ship. It should be really fun. Having systems also work into cosmetic stuff is really cool to me. Beyond that, shield changes. So, as it stands right now, and this kind of sprung from a discussion about nullifiers that didn't really go anywhere, but it's changes to shields. So currently, shields are super low value, and like you would, in 90% of cases, maybe even higher than that, you would rather build for armor or health, or just armor. So shields are currently not very popular, and there's good reasons for that. They're very weak, but they dropped the bomb that next week they're thinking about just putting in a shield gate, which is something that I've been pushing for a long, long time, and is something that we kind of fucking need, and would be amazing. That is, like, the best news we could possibly hear. That is a benefit for squishy frames. Frames that are currently squishy will be just enough, like, less squishy. That makes Chroma way better because of the way his Vex armor works. All of that kind of shit is really, really important. So shield gates are an enormous, a tremendous change even. Even if we only have the one, that's cool. But speculation on what I would like to see, I would like to see redirection, potentially add one more shield gate. Like, you get one, like, halfway point shield gate if you have a maxed out redirection. I think that would see redirection's use like skyrocket. I think that would make redirection very, very useful. 2 shield gates is really, really strong in high level content because that means that no matter what, you need to take 3 hits to die. Really important. With changes like that, fast deflection becomes like a much better mod because it means more depending on how the shield gates are going to work. That stuff is really awesome. But yeah, that is the thing that I think a lot of people are going to kind of ignore about this dev stream, but shield gates are so... They add a lot. And they kind of equalize the tankiness of a lot of the Warframes in the game. Like, the difference between, like, a Rhino and, say, like, a Nyx becomes much more condensed. Like, you push the, like, if actual EHP value, like, you change it drastically by adding shield gates, and it's really awesome that that would be a thing. It might lower the usefulness of tanks a little, but I think that's also kind of fine because tanks are really, really, really powerful right now. Yeah, whew. I'm very excited about that. That's the type of news that's like a mechanic that I love. That I'm very excited about it. as you can see from my notes with all the fucking exclamation points and question marks. Beyond that, they talked about adding new raids and the reason that we haven't gotten more raids. So the reason that we haven't gotten a lot more raids is because it's a bad return on investment. And this is totally understandable. As someone who does the raids like every single week, sometimes more, depending on if I have like extra time, be like, hey, let's get this clan together and do some more raiding. But the return on investment stuff basically means that because there's a huge, enormous, I can't stress this enough, there's a large amount of players that won't play a raid. They don't want to do that. And like they're hard. They're for like top-end players that also have teamwork skills. Like that shit it's restrictive. And I love the raids. Personally, I think that JV might be my favorite mission in the game. Because it's a really good time to me and the mechanics are super fun. And for their return on investment, they're planning on like moving some of the mechanics that we see in the raids, like LOR and JV, like the mechanics across them, into the main game to maybe try and ease players into the raids that currently exist, and then perhaps we would see more, which I think is totally reasonable. As much as I would like a Nightmare JV, just so I can like more directly farm some of those rare arcanes, I can see the reason why they would not produce more, at least for now. Yeah, it makes sense from like just a who's playing it standpoint, and I can't really argue that, as much as I personally would like more. Beyond that, we have the new Zephyr Deluxe skin. So, it is in concepting right now, but I will say, from its way back concepting that we saw, this is much better. This actually looks really fucking cool, with the energy wings that only show up while you're like bullet jumping or flying as Zephyr. Great. Absolutely wonderful. Like, the helmet looks really cool to me. I like everything that I see here. It actually makes me a little bit happy that I haven't bought Hitsusan's skin. But, yeah, really awesome. A really awesome concept for a skin that I hope will turn out really well. And maybe they could also not show it off in, like, really bad colors like the Nova skin got showed off in. Because that skin is great, but the colors that are basic for it really suck. So, yeah, that's the Zephyr Deluxe skin. They talked a little bit about Arcwing improvements, like improving the map and like little important changes in there. They said that those things are still incoming. That's all great. And then they talked more than I anticipated about standalone cosmetic animations, like different bullet jumps and like special like standalone idols, like maybe deluxe animations. That would be kind of neat. I'm down for that. As long as they have no like gameplay significance. Like, that sounds awesome. Pure benefit for both us and them. There's just benefit across the board. They get plat, we get cool animations, and I would very much like to see that stuff. But that's kind of all that happened. They showed the beginning of the Silver Grove quest, which there's not a lot to say about because I'm about to play it on stream, and it seems like it's a normal quest, basically. So, if you'd like to check that out, head on over to twitch.tv/Brozime. And come hang out for a while. I'm going to be streaming for probably most of the night, so if you're seeing this video on the 19th and maybe the 20th, I might be online. So, actually, tomorrow is the Saturday stream, so I'm going to be streaming. There's going to be a lot of streaming happening. So, check that out, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.